Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Matter of Opinion. I'm your boy Walls P.
It's your boy Rated On. Yeah, guys, today's video is very controversial. It's about a California teacher that had her students not salute the American flag, but the gay pride flag.
So my class decided to stand but not say the words. Totally fine. Except for the fact that my room does not have a flag. It used to be there. We do have a flag in the class that you can pledge your allegiance to. And he looks around and he goes, "Oh, that one?"
And now she's facing the heat for it because she made a TikTok video that went very viral.
Yep.
So let's get into it.
Yeah. So thanks for tuning in, ladies and gentlemen. If you like what you see, definitely like, share, subscribe. And if you want to support the channel, definitely become a member. If you want to see that raw, uncut content, definitely consider joining the locals. The link is in the description. And we're building our Discord, so the link is in the description to join that Discord as well. So you could join the conversation and definitely speak to your favorite YouTubers up close and personal.
100%.
And another thing with the Discord, if there's a topic that you want us to touch or debate on, you could definitely inform us right there in the Discord. So consider joining. Link is in the description for everything. So with that being said, today's debate is going to be a very touchy topic, as we said in the intro.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Newport Mesa Unified School District says what that teacher says in that video does not align with the district's values. They are now investigating this. Meanwhile, a lot of parents are very concerned and shocked by what they heard that teacher say. The school district says that's Kristen Pitson, who identifies herself as an 11th grade teacher at Back Bay High School here in Costa Mesa. She starts that TikTok video by saying that during the Pledge of Allegiance, she gives students the option to stand and say the words. She goes on to share that her class does not have an American flag and that she took it down during the pandemic because it made her uncomfortable. In this video, Pitson says a student asked why there was no flag recently. She says she tells the student she would try to find it, but then admits she's lying. Parents in the area say they are shocked by what the teacher says next. Again, this video is now under investigation by the Newport Mesa Unified School District. A spokesperson says, "I assure you that we take matters like this seriously and are taking action to address it. Showing respect to our nation's flag is a value that we instill in our students and an expectation of our employees."
So now the school district, they suspended her indefinitely until the board reviews her actions and to determine whether or not she was encouraging the kids for free speech or freedom of speech
and stuff. Yeah, pretty much. I get what
freedom of speech, or she was teaching the kids to not have pride in the American flag and in what America stands for as a symbol.
Me, I believe her being suspended is justified. I see it as the American flag should be inside of a classroom because, of course, the Pledge of Allegiance. But as far as the gay pride flag, that's an option. But I feel as though no other flag should be put up in a school except for the American flag. You get what I'm saying? Because you don't know who you might offend or whatever the case may be. It's just like how you can't even say prayer or have a Bible in the school and everything like that because you don't know who you might offend, because everybody has their own beliefs. Now, I understand, the LGBTQ community, that's something that now everybody is understanding, embracing and everything like that. And it's basically essentially part of everybody's lives, and everybody have a clearer understanding of, the LGBTQ community, and it's accepted in society, whereas back in the day, you used to be ostracized or whatever the case may be. But with that being said, I feel as though if you can take prayer, Bibles, just a lady in Florida a couple of weeks ago, she got fired or whatever because she had a Black Lives Matter flag in her classroom. So in a nutshell, that's telling me these things shouldn't be put in the school because you don't know who you might offend. And some people might feel some type of way about Black Lives Matter. Oh, they was rioting and looting or whatever. But if people look in the history of the LGBT community, there was also rioting also, as part of their history. So it, like I said, it can offend some. So just the fact of the respect of offending some people or whatever, you don't know who you might offend, I feel as though just keep it neutral and have the American flag only in the classroom. How do you feel about it?
I don't think it matters what flag, to be honest with you. Because at the end of the day, they still said the Pledge of Allegiance to America. It wasn't like regardless if they were standing and saluting the gay pride flag, the Pledge of Allegiance itself is America's pride pledge. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they still said it. So it wasn't like they were disrespecting America's the American flag's pride in not saying the pledge. You get what I'm saying? It'd have been different if they were like, okay, this is the gay pride flag. This is what we want you to say in pledge to the gay pride community, or the community in general as a whole.
I get that, but here's my thing. If you get students that go home and they're like, hey, we said the Pledge of Allegiance to a flag, but it wasn't our flag, and they explain that to parents, whatever, and that's a Christian family or whatever the case may be, those people might get offended on it. Now,
I understand. I understand where you can get offended from that. Yeah, but we also teach our kids to be human beings and to accept everyone for who they are.
They are. That's very true. But I guess the thing I'm getting at is I don't think it's acceptable where you can take prayer and Bible or whatever out of a school, but you can have different flags representing different things. You get what I'm saying? So I see it as if you're going to take one thing out, then that means that must apply across all the board, because now people who do prayer and stuff, they're like, hey, why can't I have my stuff in there? Like, why can't my kid have this thing in there? It sets up a pathway, it basically opens Pandora box toward.
But then if you're saying, if you're making this argument, right, that if you're making that argument that you're making, then that would mean that every country's flag should be out of the classrooms, because a lot of history classes and such, they have other countries' flags sometimes there as an example, right?
Yeah,
that would mean that those flags shouldn't be allowed.
Yeah, it shouldn't be allowed. That's why you got books. Show the flags in the books, and that's all you really need.
That's the argument that you're going. Yeah, that's the argument.
Yeah, because like
but then don't you think that would offend certain people's cultures as, we're not getting represented in our schools? Prime example.
No, let me hear your example.
Prime example, before, a lot of schools weren't putting up for like Cinco de Mayo and stuff like that. The Mexican Pride and all that other stuff. And now every time Cinco de Mayo comes around, every school has Spanish flags or anything relating to Cinco de Mayo flying in their school.
See, my thing is, that's not a place for school to have.
So,
like, that's
I understand where you're coming
from. Because here's the thing. Some people may be offended. Like, I think you're bringing more people to be offended if they see their flags, but then, like, another culture don't see their flags. So basically, by that knowledge, if my son go to school or whatever and he don't see a Haitian flag up in the class, but there's all these other flags, then he should be offended. So I think you're opening up more doorways for people to be offended. Whereas if you just eliminate all the flags, then that's equal playing field across the board, because now nobody can't say nothing because there's no flags there.
But then if you eliminate all the flags, it's an issue because America isn't being represented now.
Why? If you're in America, what you should be representing is the American flag. So basically, by your logic, all these other countries should have pretty much all these other flags in their school systems or whatever. Is that what they're doing?
I mean, certain countries.
Certain countries, but is every country doing that? That's what I'm saying. So yeah, I can't see it as a disrespect if this is the country I live in and it's, hey, I want to have my flag in the schools. I don't see why that's a problem, because this is the country you live in. Granted, if you want your flag country to be waving, put it on your book bag or whatever the case may be, but it's not the school's obligation to represent all these other countries. That's the way I take it. They should just represent the home country, because then with that logic, it's like, okay, now that we say the U.S. national anthem, well, I want my anthem said now. No, I want my anthem said. No, I want my. So when does it stop?
I get what you're saying.
See what I'm saying? Because that leaves room for.
But we also have to acknowledge the fact that America is built on the backs of immigrants from other countries.
It is, definitely.
You get what I'm saying?
I agree 100%.
And to not have any representation, regardless, even if it's not a flag, like even stuff, What's your argument? Actually, let's take it with the flags. What's
Okay.
your argument? Let's say hypothetically they take all the flags and just leave the U.S. flags, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now you have kids in this school. They're saying the U.S. Pledge of Allegiance. They're believing whatever is written or whatever is taught to them about the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
They're not asking questions like, oh, I see the Puerto Rican, like, prime example, they have the Puerto Rican or the Haitian flag up there. Oh, why is the Haitian flag over there? Like, what, and the history teacher or whatever teacher might be like, oh, because there was a famous Haitian poet or Haitian historian or they might go into a little bit of history of an immigrant that did something beneficial to the United States of America. You know what I'm saying? But if you just have the American flag up there, now you're only representing what America wants you to represent.
See, I have to disagree with that. The reason why I have to disagree with that is because you're supposed to learn that stuff within history. And if you want to set it up for people to listen, check this out.
But 9 times out of 10,
Uh-huh.
matter of fact, you can't even say it. 10 times out of 10, most history books are written by who?
You said written by who? By white folks, I assume.
Exactly. See my point?
Yeah, but here's
White
the
America.
thing. That is true, but with that being said, how many times teachers set up projects for kids where it's like, hey, bring in projects to talk about this culture or your culture or whatever. My son at 2 or 3 years old did a report where it was like, yo, you're gonna pick a country to do whatever a history report was, and of course he picked Haiti and stuff like that. So what I'm saying is the flags doesn't dictate what the kids learn, because when I was going to school, there wasn't flags of other countries in the classroom, but we were still learning about other countries.
But don't you think it fills them with a sense of pride and what's the word I'm looking for? Curiosity?
No.
Having the flags of other countries in the classroom?
No, because you have Google. You can find out anything you want.
Well, you know what? I can't even argue that.
You know what I'm saying?
I can't even argue that.
Anything you want. If you have a buddy of yours who's Spanish or whatever, because let's face it, it's so many different cultures and ethnicities in schools. So if your classmate or whatever, you buddies with them and he's XYZ, it's easy to find out history about, XYZ or whatever. And nowadays too, people are so like, it's so much stuff going on that people dig to get to the root or try and find different things out. So when it comes to the history of other cultures and stuff, a lot of people look into that, especially with the massive news and different crimes and all this stuff that goes on or whatever. The history of things are bound to come into play where you're going to dig deep to find out these things or whatever. But I also wanted to piggyback on something that you said. You said that America was built on the backs of other ethnicities. If that's the case, then they should have all Black Lives Matter or Black, whatever, anything Black eccentric in these schools, because realistically, the country was built on the Black.
That's true. That's true. And I completely,
Black
I
America.
actually agree with that notion.
Yeah,
I actually agree with that notion.
With that being said, regardless if it was built on the back of blacks or Black Americans, I don't like using the term African Americans. I just say Black Americans. Even with that said, we're still under the umbrella of America, because everybody say let's take out race, this, that, and the third. Okay, so then let's just keep it as this is America. We're all under the same bridge. Because even when you have people who's in other ethnicities and their home culture, their homeland is this or that or whatever the case may be, the minute you pledge to become a citizen, you're now basically saying I'm an American. Now, it doesn't mean to not, still teach your roots and your culture, but at the end of the day, you're living in America. I can't go to Japan and be like, yo, I want American flag in the school, whatever, this, that, and the third, because I feel like I should be represented. I can't go there and expect that.
Well, technically,
You know what I'm saying?
Technically, you could in Japan.
You could, but I don't feel it's right. That's what I'm saying, because that's their culture. Now, if I want to become a citizen and become Japanese, say, hey, I'm a Japanese, then I should be embracing their culture also and embracing the flag and everything. So that's why I'm like, don't get me wrong. I understand, the LBGT community pride and everything like that, but I'm just saying, like, as far as in a classroom or any, would that be recovered? Would that be said like government, not government, but like state? Like as far as the school grounds, that's like state. You consider?
Yeah, state considered. Yeah.
So anything like state ground, like post office or whatever school, stuff like that. Just keep the American flag, because like I said, if you can take away Christianity, which is like a lot of foundation for different religions, and like I said, people may feel like, no, that's not the foundation, whatever. But what I'm saying is, for the longest time, the Bible, Christianity, and prayer have been in schools, and they did away with it because it might offend people of other religious backgrounds. So if we
let me ask you this question.
Yeah.
You don't think it was more offensive when the football players kneel and during the Pledge of Allegiance? I forget which game that was.
No, I don't. You know why?
You don't think?
No, know why?
But they didn't. No, but my point what I was getting to, they did not say the Pledge of Allegiance. They knelt instead, right?
Yeah.
But here you have a group of kids who are saying the Pledge of Allegiance, but they're just saying it to whatever flag was in the classroom.
The reason why I don't feel that way is because when you look at the actual guide for the Pledge of Allegiance, singing it out loud is not a requirement. Actually, when they're at the football games and they hold out the flag, that's actually disrespecting the flag because you're not supposed to do that. In the guide, they say you are not supposed to, the way they hold it and stretch it out, you're not supposed to do that. So in actuality, who's really disrespecting the flag? Kneeling is not a form of disrespecting the flag. And you even had veterans that came out and said that's not disrespecting the flag. Me personally, I felt like people was using kneeling the flag as a way to not speak about police brutality and those things. It was a scapegoat to not bring it up, because even when they say this is not about disrespecting the flag, they still, you're disrespecting the flag. So what does that tell me?
Okay. All right.
You know what I'm saying? That's like,
but this teacher, she came out and she said it's not about disrespecting the flag. No. It's about giving her students the freedom to, I'm sorry, her exact words. I don't want to not quote her exact words.
Basically, she was saying it wasn't to offend the American flag or America in its entirety, so to speak. Something along those lines. All right. In a sense like that, then no, she shouldn't have been fired. She should have just been said, hey, don't do that, or whatever the case may be. So she shouldn't have been fired.
She gave her students the freedom to express themselves in her classroom, per se, because she told them specifically, because we don't have a flag, you can stand. You don't have an American flag. You can stand or sit, or you can say the Pledge of Allegiance, or you can't. You don't have to say it. But if you need to use a flag in order to recite it or whatever, you can use the flag in the corner.
Then I gotta take my first inclination back, because no, I don't think she should have been fired. She should have just been told, hey, you can't do that, and that should have been that or whatever. Take the flag.
And her first video, she even said that since they took the flag down, they never brought her a flag back to put up. So, you can't really blame her for telling her students to salute to whatever flag is in the corner, which just happened to be the gay pride flag.
She could have went to what's that called? 99 Cents Depot, got a nice little flag. And
listen, it's $1.05, okay? That 5 cents make a difference.
And bro, how many times teachers for classrooms, especially kids' classrooms, they spend money on their own dime to bring little activity books and stuff for kids to do. So
yeah, that's a fact.
You could have bought a dollar, whatever fat flag, and put it up, and that could have solved the problem until they gave you an official flag. But yeah, I stand corrected. She shouldn't have been fired, but they should have just told her,
I think okay, she shouldn't have been fired. I think she should have just warranted a temporary suspension. But then again, she's still under the investigation by the education state board or whatever.
Yeah.
So, they might overturn it and put her somewhere else or something.
Here's the thing, though. She got a lawsuit in her hands, in my opinion, because the lady that got the Black Lives Matter flag took down, she wound up suing, and I think she got like $300K.
Yeah,
I think she got, I don't know if it's $300K, but she got a pretty, I remember reading it was around $300K or whatever. So she got a pretty nice lump sum, because as of right now, there's no law or rule saying you can't have a particular flag. I'm just saying, I think they should, just to end the quarrels or whatever and not offending anybody, take it out of the classroom. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, yeah, I could see that. See that. But then again, you would be offending some people.
I get it. You'd
be offending the LGBTQ community, and when they come out, they come out in the army.
I get it 100%, but clearly it's not acceptable because you got teachers who are being fired for doing these things. So that tells you that no flag is pretty much acceptable. So just make it a universal law, like, we keep the American flag. It's no disrespect to anybody, but there's America. We're representing our country, whatever. As far as if you want to wear your own personal flags or have them on your belongings, it's fine. But as far as the classroom itself in the school, we're not obligated to put other flags. That's it. That's all I can say. I understand. You feel it's going to offend people.
I feel that makes sense, but at the same time, I think that stifles people's freedom, kids' freedom, and also I think that would make it feel really weird in the classroom, especially like if you went to a history class before, and your history teacher would have like random stuff from different places.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So it's like I feel like not having maybe a random flag of another country in the classroom or whatever would just make you feel uncomfortable. If you just had straight U.S. stuff all the time, like I think I would personally feel uncomfortable in that classroom.
Look, man, whenever I go out places, I see only U.S. flags, and I'm like, I think nothing of it. So the way we solve this debate is, you people that's watching the video, you decide. Drop it in the comments. Who do you think had a better argument? Who do you agree with? Do you agree with my take? Do you agree with Ray's take? Do you agree that she should have been fired or not fired? We would like to hear all your thoughts in the comments. So, but yeah, this was definitely a good debate. Whatever, you made some valid points, and like I said, everything you say, which some people could have be offended, I definitely can see it, but I just see it as you if you're gonna offend everybody by doing it, at least it's an equal opportunity. South Park, baby. South Park quote. For real. So, but yeah, that's gonna do it for this episode. You got any last things you got to add in there?
No. I hope that things work out for that teacher though. I felt like she didn't do it with bad intentions.
With malicious intentions, yeah. I could agree.
And I think the whole country is taking it just a little too personal.
Yeah, that's true. Hey, we'll see what happens with the outcome. Maybe the next article we read, she got $300K. So we'll see.
She'll be living the life.
Exactly, for real. But that's going to do it for this episode, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Like, share, comment, and we'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.
It's a matter of opinion.